Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a beautiful work of art that just makes the sting of 2077 hurt that much more. It really is disappointing. I've come back to, after being blown away by the show, I came back to 2077 wanting to experience that thrill of Cyberpunk. And even after, what's it been, almost 2 years, this game is still horribly underdeveloped. I'm having more bugs than my original playthrough, and CDPR recently came out and said they are lowering the amount of DLC down to 1, and that's about it. But we got modding tools, so yeah, we can go ahead, just make your own content, everybody. It'll be fine. I mean, if we're being honest, the modders had the police functional months before CDPR did, and that just blows my mind. So maybe giving everybody the modding tools instead of giving us any DLC is the better option here, because I do not doubt that any story CDPR delivers at this point could not even come close to measuring up to what the modders could do. It blows my mind that it's gotten like this, and it's really sad and really annoying, because this game could have been really amazing, I feel like, and it's so much wasted potential. And I just don't understand what the problem is. Because, let's say, for CDPR, if the problem is money, in my eyes, they've got a beautiful way to just pump out Activision money if they wanted to. With the Braindance system, they could just make a Braindance every DLC, and you could just jump in as a different person. You could, if you want to work on a trauma team, right? Okay, you load up a Braindance and you're in trauma. Or even just V gets hired as a trauma team mercenary. That'd be a fun thing to do. And with trauma team, you could do, there's multiple things you could do with that. You could do VIP extraction, which would be a really interesting concept, because if someone's got Platinum Plus, they're going to want you to get in there, make sure they get out, and take as little damage as possible. Compared to if someone's got basic, then it's like, okay, whatever, dude. Let them just make sure they're breathing, okay? Try your best. And another thing would be, like, there's, in the tutorial levels, that you do a, Militech training protocol. And it would be very interesting if you could do a Max Tech training thing for officers, where you could assemble your own squad, and you have to deal with cyber psychos with a squad of 4 chumps instead of your normal maxed out, beefed out character that you make in 2077. That would be a fun Braindance DLC that I would throw $2 or $3 for. That would be very fun if it was like an actual scenario. There were times, there were damage penalties. That would be a very cool DLC that I could do. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking of something like the Operation Anchorage DLC from Fallout 3. I absolutely loved that DLC, and I wished it was bigger. But that's something that CDPR could do here, where you have your team and you have a certain amount of resources, because it's a government program, and then you can go and fight different types of cyber psychos with your team, and maybe even make it kind of like an RPG element, where your team levels up, your team grows. But that seems like it'd be too much effort for them, seeing how they can't even fix a 2-year-old game. So I don't understand why they're not putting that kind of effort into it. And like I said, it's not even just the DLC, it's the fact that there's still so many bugs in this game after 2 years of development. I had this loading up the game to get gameplay footage for this. This is an actual screenshot from today, where during a cutscene I was headless and everybody was T-posed down the road. And I've had multiple other things, like here I dump a body into a bin and it opens backwards. I had one where I went to slide into cover and I slid through a car window into a group firing at me, and they just murdered me. And it's really sad because, like I said, Edgerunner shows what the world could have been. Even in Edgerunner, the background scenes, the background characters feel so much more alive than anything in 2077. Like, here's a screenshot that I got from the Edgerunner show, and it shows a lot of the background characters, and this is the slums. It's full of degeneracy, and there's a bunch of people just standing around, you know, maybe not standing around, but they're having their own time on the streets like there's no tomorrow, right? Compared to, here's footage of me walking around when I finally get people to load in, because that's another big problem, is even right here where I'm driving around, there's nobody that loads in. The world is not lived in. There's nothing to look around for. And then when you finally stop, there's a lag spike because everybody loads in all at once. And when they finally finish loading in, there's very little diversity. There's no flavor to any of this world. No matter where you load in, like corpos will be in suits, right? And then you go into the slums and there'll be a few homeless people on the streets. But it's not nearly as crazy and wacky as Trigger's interpretation of it, which I love. It's really disappointing, honestly. But yeah, I don't know if this is crazy or if everybody agrees with me or what, but I've been ranting to my friends about this for about the past like 5 or 6 days since Edgerunner came out. And I haven't really... I've been wanting to make a video about this, but I also Premiere and it's either Premiere or OBS. One of them is messing up with recording audio and recording video. So I managed to get this to work through multiple different recording iterations, but I don't really have anything for the multiplayer video for this month. So this is the only thing I can really do. I managed to record my Outlast, and that's going to be coming up soon. But other than that, I'm just going to be trying to fix whatever I can. And that's all I really had to say about all of this. It was just my little crybaby rant. Feel free to let me know what anybody else thinks down there in the comments. Thank you. Sorry I'm so bad at making scripted content. That's why the volume keeps jumping and is so choppy. I've tried like 3 or 4 different times, and this is the closest I've gotten to a scripted video. And it's more or less just been me ranting. So, we'll see what goes on from there. Later.